Peace. What's good, guys? How's it going? Hope you guys are doing well. Let's talk about and discuss Impact Wrestling for January the 26th, 2023. This show was okay. It could have been better, but, it's Impact. It's a lot of hit and miss sometimes, and this was just one of those weeks where the show kind of missed it. Nothing too interesting happened on this show. Nothing too much. It's just run-of-the-mill, regular Impact. I mean, this was the fallout from Hard to Kill, but, it is what it is. So, we kicked the show off with Mike Jackson versus Trey Miguel for the X Division Championship. It's crazy as fuck that Mike Jackson is still wrestling. He's 73. That is insane to me. Insane. So, Trey Miguel wins via the Lightning Spiral. In the match, Mike Jackson did an old school, which I thought was funny. He went around the entire rope and everything else. He did it pretty good, but Trey was able to block it with a bunch of jabs and kicks. So, there's that. Trey wins, like I said before. Then post-match, Crazy Steve and Black Taurus, they come out from under the ring and they scare off Miguel. So I'm guessing they'll probably do like a triple threat or something down the line or at Unsurrender for Trey Miguel. I'm digging the heel character that he's playing right now. I'm glad that he turned heel. It needed to happen. And so far, he's doing pretty good. But it'll probably be a triple threat match at No Surrender. Moving on. So Josh Alexander, he's backstage. He's interviewed by Gia Miller. But he was putting over a couple people, like Rich Swann and others, in the six-pack challenge or whatever. But he was interrupted by Steve Macklin, my boy. So he trash-talked about not being a part of the Golden Six shooter. And he said he already defeated basically all the contenders in the match. And he said Scott D'Amore can't save Josh Alexander anymore. In due time, he will fall to Steve Macklin, which is basically true. Moving on. Kushida and Kevin Knight, they're in action next. They took on the Good Hands, that being Jason Hotch and John Schuyler. So Kushida and Kevin Knight, who had a good showing, won via the Koromora armbar, which I like. And I like this team. This is my first time actually seeing Kevin Knight, and he seems pretty good. I'm digging this, Glad they won. They need to change Hotch and Skylar's team name. I don't like the Good Hands. I really don't. That's a shitty name. I have no idea why they're even called that. And they are basically just job guys. Like, it makes no sense. It's just two job guys together. So, Jay Vidal, he was with Gisele Shaw. They were talking to Santino Marella. So, he revealed that it's going to be a tag title match for the Knockouts Tag Team Championships. So, there's that. Moving on, Mickie James, she was backstage talking to Jordynne Grace. So Grace interrupted her and said that she's got a rematch and she has an eye on regaining her title, which is not going to happen. I do think that, like I said before, Masha is going to be a better story versus Jordynne Grace. We've already done the whole Masha story. And if Mickie James does defeat Masha, I feel bad for her. Masha's been kind of shitted on pretty bad. She really has, because, her losing to Jordynne Grace consecutively is not a good look. It's not. And I feel like Impact built her up tremendously, and then they shitted on her when she tried to get to the top. I don't know why, but who knows? But for whatever reason, they've really cooled off Masha Slamovich. Next, we had the Death Dolls versus Rosemary. With Rosemary by their side, versus Gisele Shaw and her mystery tag partner, which ended up being Tara, aka Victoria. So basically, towards the end of the match, Gisele Shaw gets into the face of Tara. Tara's not taking the bullshit. So they smack each other, and then Tara does the Widow's Peak, dips out, and the Death Dolls get the win. So there's that. Who gives a shit, Enough said about that, the better. Moving on. Taylor Wilde, for whatever fucking reason, is still doing this occult Isla Dawn gimmick. It doesn't make any sense. So she's reading tarot cards. So she's taking a page out of Karrion Kross's book, as well as Isla Dawn and others who do these dark occultic characters. I don't like it because it doesn't feel organic. And I have no idea why Impact has her in this role. It makes no sense. Anyway, she was talking to the tarot cards, asking them to show her next opponent, and it was revealed by the tarot cards that it's going to be Killer Kelly, who kind of is basically doing a similar gimmick, but it's just a little bit more darker, more gothic, if you will. I don't know where they're going with this. I really don't know what they're going to do with Taylor Wilde. I have no idea. I don't know why Impact is going this route with Taylor Wilde. I don't. It's not a good look for her. And Killer Kelly, she suffered just like Masha. Like, they touted her as like a big deal for the first few weeks, and then all of a sudden they just have been non-existent. And I have no idea, why the fuck that happens. But Impact's just been kind of fucking over both Killer Kelly and Masha Slamovich. I don't know what the deal is between Taylor Wilde and Killer Kelly. Like, there's no rhyme or reason as to why they're putting them together in a feud. It just doesn't make any sense. I don't know. Moving on. So Dave LaGreca, he's talking to Santino Marella, and he was interrupted by Bully Ray. So Bully asked Santino if he had something against him for not getting an immediate rematch after Hard to Kill, but Santino told him that he lost the match. Bully told him that he didn't need any reminding of the fact that he lost before threatening Santino to keep his head on a swivel. It makes sense. I mean, Bully doesn't need to be there. We all know that he was just there to put over Josh Alexander anyway. Who cares? Now that Devon has been released from WWE, there could be a reuniting of the Dudleys or Team 3D in Impact, which I wouldn't be shocked if he does go to Impact anyway. He's not going to AEW. Like, why would they even use him in AEW? Let's just get real. Like, why not just put him and Bully back together? That's what I would do. So Tasha Steele, Savannah Evans, they were backstage being interviewed by Gia Miller. So Tasha said that Mickie James didn't defeat her one-on-one. And then Gia was like, well, do you guys have any problems? And Tasha was like, look, I'm not doing this right now. I'm done with it. I'm done with all of this. So she just walked out. And I have no idea why this is happening. Once again, this is something else that does not make sense. Like, there's no rhyme or reason. Tasha Steele is another one who fell down the card. She was on top for a little while in 2022 for a good bit. And then they did the whole Mickie James thing. And that was that. But I don't know what they're going to do with Tasha Steelz. I don't know. And I like Savannah Evans, so I don't know, but they don't need to break them up that quickly. It's interesting to see where they go with this, but just breaking up the two randomly just doesn't make any sense at all. So, Bullet Club, they're out next. They take on the major players. Ace Austin gets the win via a roll-up. Chris Bay, who I'm fucking pissed off at because he doesn't know who Bret Hart is, deserves to be a jobber until his Impact contract is up. Seriously. How the fuck do you not know who Bret Hart is? And Chris Bay is 27. He has no excuse. The fact that he never watched a Bret Hart match is disrespectful as fuck. Like, come on, bro. Like, what are you doing? Like, that's just like saying, oh, well, I've never watched a Rock match or a Stone Cold Steve Austin match or Roddy Piper match or a Brock Lesnar match or a John Cena match. Like, what the fuck? Like, come on, bro. Seriously? If I was running Impact, I would job Chris Bay out, literally. Not Ace Austin, but Chris Bay. I would job his ass out until his contract is up. That's just what I would have to do. It would be a long, long time before he got a push. And I think he just signed a 3-year deal again. I want to say sometime last year. I can't remember when it was. Maybe summer of last year, I want to say. But he signed a new year deal with Impact, a 3-year deal with them, and he does not know who Bret Hart is. I'm sorry, dog. But for those 3 years, for the remainder of those 3 years, you are going to be in job status. Just get used to it. Like, damn. But anyway, they won. That being Bullet Club, Ace Austin, Chris Bay. So, Joe Hendry, he came out, and he was making fun of the major players, and he told Mark Cardona that he had a music video for him, which he did, and it was extremely funny. I laughed my ass off. Really good shit. I fucking love Joe Hendry. Love him. So, Hendry basically is going to accept Cardona's challenge for the Digital Media Championship. And he put out a music video called Edge's Bitch, and that was great. I fucking loved it. I legitimately laughed my ass off throughout this entire segment. This was great. Fucking loved it. Kudos. This is way better than the Dancing Moose that he did a few weeks back. So, Johnathan Gresham, he took on Sheldon Jean, absolutely destroyed him, hit him in the back of the head with an elbow and pinned him 1, 2, 3. Like, I love Gresham. They need to push this, man. Like I said before, a few times in a few videos, Impact videos previously, that if Steve Maclin does not defeat Josh Alexander, it's got to be Johnathan Gresham. Either one of those gentlemen, I'm fine with. Whether it's Steve Maclin or Johnathan Gresham. But those two, you can actually build Impact around. You can really build Impact up to be decent. A decent promotion with Johnathan Gresham or Steve Maclin. And then the main event. The Golden 6-Way Elimination Match featuring Rhino, Moose, Chris Sabin, Eddie Edwards, and Rich Swann and Sami Callihan. So, basically, Rich Swann, he wins. There was a couple of times that the design got involved, but Rich Swann was able to win. He took out Moose. I believe Eddie Edwards took out Rhino. I also think that Chris Sabin took out Sammy, I think. No. He took out Moose. I can't remember, but anyway, Rich Swann won. He won with the 450 splash. So post-match, the design, they tagged Rich Swann after the match, and then there were a couple of saves by Yuya Uemura, Frankie Kazarian, and Josh Alexander. And then the four of them stood tall. It was basically just like a big brawl to kind of close the show. So I wouldn't be shocked that if next week there is a 8-person tag, the Design taking on Josh Alexander, Rich Swann, Frankie Kazarian, and Josh Alexander. So there was Impact. It was decent, I guess. Nothing too monumental happened. So now, thank you guys for watching. Please hit the like button, comment down below, and subscribe for my videos. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.